little.
It's on.
The first one I used some books were made by camera.
Hello, Heather.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
I am great, thank you.
Are you ready to learn a new instrument?
Mm-hmm.
Splendid. Have you ever played clarinet before?
No.
Okay.
Here's that.
This is the case. Okay, the way you open it is you flip up the latches, like so. You didn't see anything. So remember, when you're opening the case, you want to have the smaller part on top. Okay, and it also helps that when you flip, if you do the flips, you flip it up, and that comes down instead of if it's upside down and you flip it down and it doesn't, it stays down there. It's bad. Don't do that. Your instrument will fly everywhere. Yes, I am recording a lesson. Okay, so can you open it? You're doing it? You're doing it? Don't make it fall off. Beautiful. Okay, so now, the history of the clarinet. So it originated around 2700 BC. So it's an old instrument, and they found it in like Egypt and Greece and where else? Russia. Russia. So the interesting thing about this, then, as opposed to the flute and the brass instruments that you've been playing, is that this uses a reed. And not only is that, it's a single reed instrument. So, may I see your reed? I'm glad you brought it. This is a tube, and that means its thickness is, it determines the thickness. So it's a single reed. Other instruments like the oboe and the bassoon have a double reed, and you got to make them yourself. It's a terrible process. Never do it. Yes. And there's multiple variations of this instrument, and most of them involve different pipes. So you ever see those like movies where the snake charmer has like the two pipes playing? That's a clarinet with two pipes.
So take the bell, and you see
Really?
on the lower
I know. Right? And like I read something about there's like 3. And it was like too much for me. Don't know what to deal with that. And it has about 4 octaves, so it has a huge range. Yeah.
You make sure.
Not 4 octaves. That's what has at least. And it has over 2 full octaves. It's a great instrument. I think it's a glorified saxophone. Saxophones are better. I didn't say that, Software. Okay, so we're gonna do assembly. Assembly. So take the mouthpiece. Do you know which one that is?
How do you hear? You can do the bell part.
Yes. So the mouthpiece comes with the cover, so it doesn't chip the tip of it. So this just stays there. So parts of the mouthpiece are the ligature. Okay. The mouthpiece. That's the cork. I'm glad you brought your own once again. So the way you assemble it is you get the reed and you put it where the flat part is. And you line up the tip of the reed with the tip of the mouthpiece, just ever so slightly. So it doesn't go over, but it's really close to the top. So once you do that, you put the ligature on with the bolts facing up, and they'll tighten it. So I want to see you do it, and I'll tell you whether or not your reed and mouthpiece distance are correct. Someone you think you got it.
Yep. I feel like it's easier.
From this side. See, that's a little too hot. Okay? Yes. Like you just want to barely see it, but you still have to see it. You can't just see reed.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Okay. Next thing, I'll take my reed out so you don't end up mixing it up. Okay. Next thing is,
beautiful.
This is the ligature.
Now put the ligature on very carefully.
Yeah. So the ligature goes over like this, and the screws facing you, because this is how you'll be holding it this way.
Okay.
But ligature loosen up. So get your reed out. Okay, so now you see
Good, you
the
put it on the right side.
rounded edge of the reed?
So you can also adjust it when it's on there, but once you tighten it, it's pretty much set with what it's at.
The very flat edge is going to be on.
Right, try to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to place it on. The thinner edge goes this way.
So it's the other way.
So when you put the lower joint, there'll only be the tiniest bit of black showing, like that. Okay. So that'll be held there. I'll do it this time, and then you can do it.
No, you're fine.
Oh,
I'm just putting that a little tighter.
Tiniest bit of black.
Oh,
showing.
There you are. Wonderful. So remember that when you do that, it is a little tighter. Okay, so it doesn't like fly everywhere. You play and it just magically appears up in your mouth. You're like, what?
There, yeah.
So we're gonna work with
But not too tight.
the assembly of an instrument. There's 5
So now the
parts,
clarinet is assembled.
which is more than the other instruments that you've learned. There's the mouthpiece, which you already know. The small part is the
I'll just
barrel.
kind of show you how to hold it,
Okay.
and then we'll get
So
to
that
some
goes
playing.
there.
Alright.
And then there
So
is
the
the
left hand
first,
is the one that goes
the
on
lower
upper
and
joint,
upper
and the right hand goes on the lower joint.
joint. So it's not that
See,
fancy.
this is the thumb key.
This is the upper joint, and you'll be able to tell that because it has the thumb key and the octave key. Okay, so that means it's the upper joint. It's also the smaller of the two.
Okay.
Covering these holes. And then this
Put
thumb
your
is
head in there.
right here to hold it up.
This is the lower joint. You can tell because it has the thumb. And with this special clarinet, you're lucky.
So left hand on top, right hand on bottom.
You can adjust the thumb length.
Oh.
So with your smaller hands than mine, I've got huge hands. You can make it lower or higher depending. Okay.
There you
And
go.
this,
And the thumb just
no,
right
it's
there.
this.
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
See, you knew it before I even touched you.
We'll get to playing.
So the order it goes in is mouthpiece.
Posture. So we want to sit kind of towards
What's it called?
The keys are
Right
this
in your
way,
chair.
so yeah.
And the clarinet, it doesn't go straight down.
Barrel?
So
Yes.
Yes.
You can
Okay,
barrel
barrel.
chest.
A little bit of an angle.
Barrel's upper joint, lower joint.
So let's try that.
There.
So it's like
So the first
head,
one we're going to learn is
chest,
G.
abdomen,
No. Is the first
legs, foot.
Wait a second.
Okay.
So think of it like an anatomical
Yeah.
creature.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yes.
So this is core crease. This is more of a maintenance thing, but when you're putting things together, if it's hard to like put it on, you just
Thing that you're
smear this on the cork part. Okay.
take these fingers
So
off.
if you need it, it is right here.
And the clarinet left
So
holds up with
can
your
you
right
assemble
hand.
this one?
Okay.
But balanced with your left hand. So it's like, just make sure your fingers aren't covering it from there.
Yes. So you got the right side. It's not a twist, just push it. But don't hurt your reed. Is that hard?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cork crease.
You just hold
You do
it
it?
with your.
You do it?
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. There we go.
There you are.
And then
There's
for
your
the
cork crease, madam.
Thank you, sir.
you want to kind of go like this a little bit. A little bit. Yeah, you got it. And then so your upper teeth will be on top of the mouthpiece. And the bottom one will be right, just barely over your bottom.
Ah, much
Is
better.
that easier?
You will
Yes.
Good.
There we go.
So what goes next?
Then it's the
So
upper joint.
Okay.
upper teeth on the mouthpiece.
So there's a direction it has to face too. Put it on first. And if it's hard, use a little more. Okay?
Yeah, it's a little too tight. Right now, you don't have enough mouthpiece anymore?
The cork
You
is
have just a little bit too.
smell. It's kind of minty, I think. I like it.
Yeah.
It's probably a little weird though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Because I inhale it so
Yeah.
much.
So one of the things you're doing, it looks like you're trying to blow it down into the clarinet.
Come on, a little
I
more.
think you can lower the clarinet a
I'm
little bit.
afraid to like break
Try to
something.
blow
No,
more
you're fine.
across the
You're
reed
fine.
to make
It's
this
a
sound.
sturdy piece of equipment.
Yeah. Make sure you have the upper teeth.
Grab it and put it down. Okay, so when you're doing this part, you want to make sure that the octave key lines up with the bottom of the reed. So you're like, hey, look, bottom of the reed.
Okay.
Line it up with the bottom of the reed.
Just on that open down.
Line it up. I aligned it for you.
Seems a little tight here.
Going the other way.
You can loosen it a little
Need to go.
tiny bit.
You're going the other way. You got it?
Yeah,
Beautiful.
a lot better. A lot better. So make sure that the
Beautiful.
tongue just barely
Put on the